What's good with everybody? It's Gene. Welcome to another edition of Buck What You Heard. I know I'm on a little bit early, but I've been really trying to work on making sure my audio is good, making sure that everything is working, and we're not having any issues with the audio because I know that's been a big issue, for a lot of people. Stephen Pryor, what is up, my friend? Who do you got in the draft? Who's your number one pick? Matt, what's going on, Matt? Who you guys like in the draft, man? I'm getting to that point where I'm really excited to see what everybody's talking about. So, Steven, who you got in the draft? Who do you like? Callie Buck, what's going on? Do I trust Light? I don't have a choice. He's the general manager, and until he's fired, there's nothing you could do. There we go. Went with Quentin Williams. There we go. B Loggins, what's up? White, I'm not 100% sold on him. I'm just not. I know that that's the general consensus. That's where everybody's going. I just kind of have to wait and see. Hopefully I'm wrong, just like I was about Kendall Beckwith and some of the other players that the Bucks have drafted. Um, Josh Allen, that would be kind of nice to see Josh Allen come up in here. Yeah, Stash. I'm just on here, just testing out my audio, making sure audio is working. I Marlon Williams, what's going on? You'll probably see me on. I'm gonna go on Twitch next and make sure that's working. He's wearing the Buck What You Heard shirt. That is awesome. Matthew Kitchell's, and you bring up a great point. I would love to see the Bucks trade down. I really would. I think that would be the strongest point for them to kind of trade back and just kind of see what else they can come up with. He's taking a dump. Yeah. Hey, how is your brackets coming, Shooter? Let me know. Yeah, I'm all for trading back. I like what the Bucks did the last time. I think they got the most out of that. But if they did get somebody, I would want it to be a trench guy. I don't, linebacker. Yeah, I understand. I would want him to trade back. Are we set at safety? We don't. I'm not quite sure. Let's see who else they bring in. Um, I'm sure with free agency's never over. Let's see who they bring in. There may be a surprise here or there, but I could see somebody. I could see him grabbing a safety in the later rounds. So I don't know. Okay, yeah, you're welcome to come on if you wanna do that. Hold on, I can get that set up for you. Um, Robert Green, remember when Derwin James was a consensus number one pick for the Bucks? Exactly. My friend, I just again, I will say this, and I know I've said this repeatedly. I want to see what the Bucks do with these picks, whoever they are, whether it's free agency, whether it's the draft. I want to see what the Bucks do with these picks. I want to see the Bucks winning games in the middle of the season. That's what's important to me. This time of the season, I like it because you get an idea of fans. Some fans are doing their homework, other fans are listening to the media, but a lot of times, a lot of fans are doing their homework. Okay, this guy would fit the Buck scheme. Unfortunately, I can't say that because I don't know what the scheme is going to look like, to be very honest. So I'm just kind of sitting back and watching all this. I'm enjoying it. I've seen some really spirited debates. Great arguments for why White should be drafted. I've seen even greater arguments for why Williams should be drafted. So it's just kind of fun to get the fan perspective on it. I really appreciate that. Are we going to get compensatory picks? You know what? I'm going to have to look into that. I'll have an answer for you tonight when we actually do the show live on what's going on with that. The Bucks also like Devin Bush. Yeah, I've seen that. Um, People don't seem to understand the concept of the Bucks fantasy bracket. Well, that's because that's Facebook. If you were doing, you should have did the draft on. You should have did this whole thing on Twitter instead of on Facebook. I think that it may have worked out a little bit better for you. But again, what do I know? Um, So Robert Green, White isn't the top linebacker and Greedy isn't the top cornerback. Yeah. Um, Again, I just want to see what they do with him. I want to see what they do with him. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I would like to see an offensive lineman. I wouldn't be mad if the Bucks picked up an offensive lineman or somebody that's going to help on either side of the ball in the trenches, because I feel like that's where there's the most deficiencies. And yeah, at least on the offensive side of the ball. And defense, again, I'm not sure what they're going to be doing on defense, but it's going to be really interesting to watch. I've heard speculation. I've heard about the 3-4. I've heard hybrid 3-4-4-3. I've heard so many different variations of what this could be, but I really believe that, there's a lot of talent on this team already on this team, and just what they are bringing in right now should make for a big difference. So let's see. I'll get 1,000 more votes on Facebook. That's why it's on there. Hey, 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 hey! You watch your tone with me, buddy. Watch your tone. And let's see. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they'll clear cap space for the draft? You know what? I think they will. And I heard a rumor, and again, it's just a rumor. It's a source. You know how critical I've been of sources here this year, the off season this year. Just the whole source thing, I don't know, but I've heard rumors that they're going to move on from Gerald McCoy after the draft. I think that's a smart move. See what you get in the draft, see what you get in free agency, and possibly move on from him. I can totally see that happening. Again, and I've said this from the beginning, and I'm saying this again. I'm good with Gerald McCoy if he stays a Buck, restructures and stays. If he gives his team the best opportunity to win, that's who you want on your team. However, I understand the flip side of this. This is a business. This guy's stats have gone down. Let's see what happens. So I don't know. Either way, I'm good with it if it gives this team the best opportunity to win. Robert Green. Hey, you should come on. To be very honest, I'll get with you. I'll hit you up on Twitter in a minute. Spence is going to have more opportunities with the new scheme set. That's what I'm hoping for. That's totally what I'm hoping for. I haven't given up. I haven't given up on Noah Spence. He's a guy that I've been rooting for since the Bucks drafted him. I want him to be successful, but even more than that, I just want this team to win. So that's kind of where I'm at with all this. And I want to get more of your thoughts. I mean, I've heard some names out there. Who are some names that aren't mainstream that you think that would do good with the Bucks that nobody's talking about? Let's hear some of those names. Do you think the Bucks will draft a? Do you think the Bucks will draft a running back eventually? They held a private workout with Miles Sanders. That's always a possibility. And listen, I just wanted to be very 100% clear. They haven't given up on Ronald Jones, number one, and number two. I thought Peyton Barber had a good season. I really did. And again, when you're not committed to the run early on in the season, I think that put him in a bad situation. But you're going to need that running game. That's going to be important towards the middle and the back end of the season. Very important. Jerry Tillery, defensive tackle. I will have to look for him. Let's see. Blace Brown, cornerback. Lawrence Taylor, jeez Louise. This guy here, man. This is shooty shoots. This is why you can never have nice things because of stuff like that. Ryan Finley, quarterback, excuse me. Jalen Ferguson. So I have to ask this question. With the way the Giants are moving, getting rid of people, and just what they're doing, do you see them taking a quarterback with their first pick in the draft? So let's see. I'll come back to that in a second. Let's see. So yes, so the Bucks are getting a compensatory pick. We got another sixth and seventh, I believe. So we'll have to wait and see about that. Stephen Pryor, the defensive back from Delaware, is a dog. I liked his film, and he can play corner too. Okay, all right. And Trade down. Again, we were talking about the trade down scenario. I could see that happening. Justin Ballas, what's going on? What do you think you're going to do to clear up cap for the draft? What is it? 10 million? Is it 10 million that you need to have for the draft? I believe to sign your draft picks. I'm just going off the top of my head. I haven't pulled any of the stuff up, but I believe it's about 10 million that you would need. Again, I can see players like a Gerald McCoy. I can see him moving on from a Gerald McCoy right after the draft. If everything falls into place and I think they get who they get, I could definitely see that happening. But again, if Gerald considers restructuring his contract just to hang around, that would be good too. Just whatever gives this Buccaneers team a chance to win games. And you guys, I'm going to keep saying this: winning games is more important than who the personnel is. It's about winning games. If you can play as a team, you can win as a team. 4 quarters of football, accountability. I mean, those are things that are important right now. So let me get back down here. Okay, 9 million. There we go. Approximately 9 million. That's what I was thinking. It was about 9 or 10 million. That's what it would take to sign your draft picks, and I think that's important. I could really see Tampa moving back and doing something similar to what they did last year. It's that possibility. If you've got a team that believes they're this close to getting to the Super Bowl, then I could definitely see that happening. And depends on when you pick. A mid first round pick is significantly lower than a top 10 pick. Now, Robert Green, let me ask you this. Just based on what you said, if you have a general manager, your general manager needs to be good enough to make a pick no matter where he's at, whether it's 19, whether it's 31, whether it's 1, whether it's 8. He should be able to take that pick and turn it into something good if he's a good general manager. And I think that is something that's very important, is making the most out of these picks. That's kind of why I've been watching the Oakland Raiders with the picks that they have. And I'm really curious to see what John Gruden does with these picks, because when you look at his body of work, I don't know. It just remains to be seen what he's capable of doing. And you didn't see The Replacements. Actually, that is a good movie. Hey, Lane Johnston, what's going on? Hey, guys, I will be on again here in a couple hours. I've been testing my audio to make sure the audio is working. I know you guys have been suffering because I've been having issues with all this, but I just want to make sure everything's working like it should. But are there certain positions this year, talent, first round, GM and staff, figure out who, though? You know what? Our GM is in save his ass by every means necessary mode. He's liable to do anything now. I agree with that. Hey, I'm telling you what, his time is running out, so he's got to do something. And this is very true, because when you look at it, your number 1, number 2 pick are potential starters. Your number 3, number 4, number 5 pick is for competition, and the number 5 through 7 is for this. The scout told me this. I'm trying to remember how that goes. The 5 through 7 is for depth. So again, I don't know how the Bucs are going to pick or where they are. They've got a lot of positions right now, to me, that can use backups or can use an upgrade. So we'll just kind of have to see what they do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, most definitely. I'll get with you after the show and we can do that. Bruce will help light. You know what? I think that may be missing. And guys, let me ask you this. Do you remember when Robinson, the general manager in Tennessee, was still in Tampa? And do you think that he was a big help to Jason Light at that time? Because I tell you what, I kind of wonder about some of the picks, but I do know that when they lost him and he went over to Tennessee, I had questions about some of the moves that were made. But again, you have to factor in coaching. You have to factor in a lot of different things. So I can't point to one thing, but the one thing that kind of sticks out to me is that When Robinson went over to Tennessee, it was a totally different game after that. And Light already said after around or after the combine, they like about five different guys at the number 5 pick. So again, we don't know. And the thing that frustrates me is I don't know what this defense is going to look like. I can't really speak on how this defense is going to be. Overhauling players in position is on the GM. Yeah, I totally 100% agree with that. I agree with that. But at the same time, um, you know, are you putting the right guys in a position to where they can come in and just help this team win? And or has it been where you've got a bunch of players that have taken a little bit longer to develop, or what are we looking at here? So are you going to be able to trade a pick? Yeah, I would love Quentin Williams. I would love that. Would be a great pick for in my opinion. I would love to see somebody like that. But again, we don't know what's going to happen. But I don't want to give too much away. But I will be back on later on. Thank you guys so much. The chat was lit, and I will be back on, and we'll be on for an hour, and we'll talk about this, and I'll definitely I'll have some surprises for you tonight. So be sure to check us out here 10 p.m. Eastern, and we will definitely be talking Bucs football. But again, guys, thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys later.